Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Chris Blair. I'm the CEO of 21st Century. 21st Century is a HR practice that focuses on reward, OD, change, people analytics, and talent.
What is ESG and why is it important in the world today?
So ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance, and it's a phrase that has been coined for looking after the world or making the world into a better place, or making sure that we don't use up all the resources that are available in the world and leave nothing to our generational children. So it's become very important in that companies, in the company context, companies run and they are using resources to produce things that hopefully add value for their clients and for people that buy their products in the world. But in so doing, they are utilizing practices that are good or bad for the world in general. So, as an example, a mining operation may produce something, some mineral that we need, like gold, which is used in jewelry, which people really enjoy. But in that process, they actually pollute or potentially pollute the world. So, the environmental aspect is that businesses um, look after the environment and try not to leave the world in a worse place when they've actually extracted value from whatever process they're putting together so that they can make people's lives better and easier. On the social side, it's become a big issue because of social injustice around the world. And governance has been shown that if companies have got good governance and they look after their practices, their businesses are better. So the world has moved since, stimulated a lot by COVID, where various inequities and pollution was highlighted when the world actually shut down. Um, Companies have moved from just trying to please their shareholders to trying to look after stakeholders, the wider stakeholder, um, which means that the world will be in a better place.
How is it connected to executive remuneration and why is that important?
So executives run the companies, and most companies have got what we call a short-term incentive or a STI, a long-term incentive, which is a long-term incentive that incentivizes the executives to deliver what their strategy purpose is. And in that delivery, they have been focused much more on shareholder delivery, so giving return to the shareholders. With the introduction of ESG, it's become apparent that they need to actually look at the wider stakeholder and be incentivized to deliver on the components of ESG. So if they in a business or an organization that can contribute to making the world a better place from an environmental point of view, the executives need some of their remuneration tied to that. And if they in all organizations employ people, they have clients, they have suppliers, and those are the wider stakeholders that from the societal point of view, they may look to tying that to some of the measures that the executives could deliver and community in which they operate. So the tying of executive pay to ESG has become much more common and is gaining ground to ensure that the wider stakeholder is looked after and not just the shareholder.
Is it working and how could it be more effective?
So yes, it is working. I did a study in 5 continents and 8 exchanges around the world, and most countries, certainly developed countries, are adopting ESG in their remuneration practices for executive remuneration to encourage them to look after the wider stakeholder. Most of them do have the most common measure that's used is the societal ones, which is very encouraging because people matter, and then environmental for industries that are pollutive in terms of uh, global warming or just polluting the environment. But it could be working better. The amount that they tie executive pay to ESG is still fairly low. In terms of total earnings, it's only 11% of total earnings, approximately. And yeah, that may be motivational, but it could be a lot more motivational. The last important thing is that the tie in terms of the short-term incentives that I spoke about and the long-term incentivization is that the short term is used mainly for risk management. So companies are trying to protect their brand and their reputation in the market. And the real work is in the long term incentives, because this is the long game in terms of stakeholder, looking after the wider stakeholder to make the world a better place.